Hey YouTube, I crafted the Emhyr Spies deck earlier today, and played around 6 or 7 games with it on the regular ladder. Just enough to get a feel for it. It's a little more tricky to play than I thought it would be. You make so many decisions per turn, and you need to make them so fast that it's easy to make mistakes you wouldn't otherwise make, like placing things in the wrong row, or pinging the wrong emissary with Enforcer. I didn't have much of a mulligan plan yet. I quickly realized that I want Imperial Brigades in my hand more than I want Imperial Enforcers. Enforcers get immediate bonus value when your emissary chain into them, while playing them from the hand you only ever get a single ping immediately. Contrast this with Brigade, who you can play from your hand as a 12-point plus unit who gains value over time whenever you want in the round. Sending back Enforcers makes you significantly more resilient to small removal, and makes your emissary chains more powerful. Open passing should be better than this Cantarella turn 1. I'm used to Silver Spies just being round manipulation cards for a static amount of points, but in the Spies deck there's so much more than that. Since Cantarella triggers your utility effects, the card is far more valuable for this deck than the Silver Spies and the other factions. Using it on turn 1 for no value, even with the meta to take the round in 1, is probably not good enough. This play is interesting, and if I'd watched more good players play the Spies deck before trying it myself, I'd probably have a better intuition for which is optimal. Let's look at the 3 main options we have here. First, we can establish Imperial Brigade. This doesn't look to waste any value, but we're playing a card that doesn't have to be vulnerable to removal into removal. While Brigade doesn't waste value, we lose the opportunity to establish Enforcer, who does lose value every time you play a Spy with him not in play. Secondly, we could play Emissary, or some variant like Emhyr into Kalak. I quickly ruled this out, as nothing I can hit is better on an empty board than just establishing one of the 2 utility units. Lastly, the play I opted for, which looks kind of weird, is leading on Enforcers. This unit is weak to removal, and I'm wasting its initial ping on nothing. However, while I'm wasting 2 points, if I planned the Emissary next turn, I'd instead be wasting 2 times the number of emissaries in the chain points, so I think Enforcers first is correct. Now that my opponent has a card in play, I have no reason not to go for the emissary chain, rather than play a weak utility creature. Chaining into Enforcers would be great, but anything is fine here. Nausicaa fixes my medic, Infiltrator sets up a full value Nausicaa, and obviously a utility unit is great here. This is another decision that would be much faster if I had good mental shortcuts with this deck. Enforcer over Brigade should be a pretty obvious choice, mostly for the same reasons I mentioned earlier. The earlier your Enforcers get established, the more value they generate, but you can cash in on your Brigades whenever. I pinged the wrong emissary, so I only get 1 ping. This is all wrong. I should have marked the Orveth or Francesca with the Spy token, and pinged the Skirmisher. It sets up better value for my in-hand Nausicaa Brigade, and pinging a unit with even strength means I don't waste any points if I want to kill that unit. Chain out my last emissary, and hit on the utility creature. He lines up my Brigades for the world's most obvious Scorch, and with no good counterplay, I press the pass button into a long round 3. Finding Kahir is pretty good. I have a Brigade in my hand that I was a little worried about finding value with, and now with double Kalak it looks like that won't be an issue. This Kahir should probably be a Van Hamar Frost instead. It's unlikely he runs any weather clears, and his deck plays a couple ranged lock units that make the Frost pretty valuable. Because it's a long round 3, there's also a consideration to Kahir the Van Hamir to Frost, so that I can have double Frost up in a longer round. But that's almost certainly worth fewer points than whatever this emissary gets. The second row of Frost would only tick for 6 turns, for a maximum of 12 points. The Kalak, however, will emissary out a similar number of points with much less risk. As soon as I clicked on this assassin, I realized it was wrong. Oops. This overdose is full tilt mode. Killing the Spies on his side is just costing me points if I don't play the Brigade first. Luckily I only hit one of the Spies, and managed to kill the Dragoons. If the Dragoons didn't die, I was ready to scanner. Joachim pulls the best card to pull, and we're solidly in good shape. It's really awkward that I haven't gotten down this Imperial Brigade yet, though. Now that this Brigade is well past its prime, I finally get it down, only to have it instantly get compressed. This Iris should definitely just be Vigilforts to pull Infiltrator. I'm not sure what I was thinking. There isn't really much risk to doing it this way in this particular matchup, it's just kinda silly. I almost sequence these backwards and throw away 5 points. He plays a 10-point gold, and Nausicaa Brigade on the Iris is plenty of points to take the game. Hardly my best game, but that's why we play Gwent, right? Wouldn't be much point in trying to improve if you always played perfectly. I'm not sure how much more of this deck I'm going to be playing. It's probably the Nilfgaard deck that I'd use to climb on the pro ladder, but I haven't had much time to play pro ladder games for the last couple days, and it's hard to find the drive to play something other than Skellige for long periods of time. I've got a cool Skellige brew that I've been honing on the regular ladder over the last couple days that I hope to be able to share soon. Until next time.